Hi, so I just finished training and I got thinking about what people would really benefit knowing about mobility work, and there's really only three kinds of mobility work that you should bother spending your time and efforts on. And the first would be loaded passive, and the next would be more of a loaded active stretch, and then the next would be what I would call an active stretch, which is also under load, but you'll see the distinguishment I'm making here in a minute. So the first category, a loaded passive stretch, would be something just like hanging from something and letting the shoulders be stretched out. And there really isn't any tension in my musculature right now besides in my grip. And this is more biased towards the passive and supporting structures in the shoulders and elbows, like the tendons and ligaments, the connective tissue, etc. But it's still under load, so we still get an adaptation to those tissues, and they're still going to get more resilient and stronger, and we're going to gain quite a bit of range of motion in the shoulder if we practice this over time. And then the next kind of stretch, or mobility exercise, a loaded active stretch, is very similar to doing strength training, where we're going through a dynamic range of motion, going through an eccentric phase, then a concentric phase. We're just trying to maximize how far we go into the eccentric phase. That way we can get the most benefit for our mobility work. So something that would fall under that category would be doing a hip hinge with load, having your knees locked, going as low as you can, coming back up. So it's much like just doing an RDL, but I keep my knees locked, and you're gonna rep it in and out, and then you would pause for maybe 10, 20 seconds, as low as you can go. In practicing this kind of mobility work, it's really a form of strength training at these end ranges, whether dynamically or statically, or a combination of the both, where you do dynamic reps that you hold, will really improve the mobility, and you're loading the musculature to go into these deep ranges, and then to be able to contract and pull yourself back out of them, and all the way down into the range of motion. The musculature is loaded, so you're getting stronger at the same time, which is really what you want when you gain range of motion, is to get stronger in these ranges. That's what lets you get more mobile. And then the last kind would be an active stretch, where I use the musculature in the front of the leg and the front of the body to lift the leg up, pulling as deep into hip flexion as I can, using the muscles that move the leg. And this would be what I would call an active mobility drill, where you're using the agonist to move the leg, the agonist being the quadricep, the hip flexors, all the musculature through here, to lift the leg up, causing the hamstring and the glute to lengthen and giving you more strength to control this hip flexion at its end range, which is a kind of range you need for certain things like doing press handstands or other things like that. So those are the three categories of mobility work that I spend most of my time doing and I prescribe to my students, and that I think are most effective and the safest for people to do. Hope this is helpful.